You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Tuesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby. Good to have you back in the building, brother.
Yeah, buddy.
And you don't even stink, which is nice.
Yeah, man, I had to rewash all the sheets and stuff. He ran through the bed after it happened. It sucked. It doesn't smell as bad now. It's still lingering, but...
This is what I wanted to ask. Is for as long as your dog Silas still has a little bit even of that skunk smell, are you going to take him to the dog park? Do you think other dogs would judge your dog if he showed up stinky? Like the way the kids do at school?
See, I don't think smells really bug dogs like that, because, dogs like to roll around in dirt.
Yeah, but
junk, right?
That's how they get to know each other, right? Is like getting up close and giving those smells. Dog comes up behind Silas for the next, I'm going to say couple weeks. He goes for a deep inhale. Oh, God!
I always feel like for dogs, it's who's the stinkiest. Like, if you're clean, they're like, you bow down to the master and had a bath?
You think Silas is the alpha for the next
They're
couple
like, the
weeks?
sword really bends the knee in your house, eh? I do think dogs get embarrassed, and I think I had mentioned this to you a couple weeks ago. We tried to do one of those lame, color photo shoots with the dogs.
Oh, yeah, where you put, it's like a powder and then they shake it off?
Yeah, and Murphy was, covered in blue, and I made a joke to the guy at our daycare. I hope she doesn't get made fun of. Good thing dogs don't see color. And he's like, well, they do see blue.
That's right, yeah.
And so I always wonder or actually, Murphy again a few weeks ago, she was licking her paw too much, so we put a cone on her.
Oh.
I was sitting out on the porch, smoking a J, and I saw, some dog go by, and usually she'll, perk up and look at them. She just laid there, and I was like, that's gotta be those moments where dogs are embarrassed.
Cones are the number one proof that you're right, that dogs do have at least some sort of social anxiety feeling, because you can just watch, the happiest, go-luckiest dog. You put a cone on them, and they're just like,
It's that, and then when the owners put those little boots on their dog's paws and they walk around.
And they start doing little tippy taps because it all feels so bad.
They always look like they're walking on ice, and every other dog is like, wouldn't be me, bro.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
It's like, that's the human equivalent of wearing a helmet when you go for a bike ride. It's better for you. You should do it every time.
Yeah.
But there's no way to do it without looking like a fucking nerd.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Here's something I feel like we already knew, but according to a scientific study, they say that BMW and Mercedes drivers are 5 times more likely to cut you off in traffic.
Oh man, if science says it, now they have no armor against this.
I feel like that's just been the running joke. Maybe the BMW more than the Mercedes, but
Yeah, I've definitely heard my fair share of Mercedes jokes, but BMW jokes in and out of car circles they're everywhere.
the BMW just doesn't use its turn signal.
Never.
Specifically.
It may actually not come standard on your average BMW vehicle.
It's kind of like people who have truck nuts don't know how to park,
right,
kind of thing. Right?
Very, very classic.
But I would also like to add into the BMW and Mercedes driver category, can we add Nissan drivers to that same list of people who like to cut people off?
Really?
Specifically anyone who drives an Altima. I swear to God, you guys are insane, weaving in and out of the road. I'm going to be honest, generally you guys just drive like douches.
I haven't had a lot of bad experiences with Altimas, but I feel like I've also just never really thought about the Nissan Altima before. Now I'm going to be noticing it.
Look out for it, man.
It's going to stand out to me.
Ultimate dicks. That's what they are. I do feel like a lot of cars come with stereotypes. It's kind of like if you're a bartender, you can stereotype someone based on what they drink.
Oh, yeah.
All Subaru owners vape. That's just a fact.
The bigger the truck, the less likely it's been off-road.
Yeah, that's true. And then also Prius drivers are just absolute speed demons for some reason.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. You've I'm not hurting the environment, so I can go as fast as I want. That's the trade-off.
I'm not hurting the environment, but I may end you and your family's life.
No, it's a Prius, my brother. If it hits you, they're just going to dust.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they cut you off. You drive off the road.
Spiraling out of control.
Also, I've always had this weird theory, and I don't know if it's just me, I feel like everyone who owns a Porsche is a dentist. I don't know why I assume that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is definitely a wealthy owner car.
Yeah, I just feel like everyone I've ever met that owns a Porsche is like a dentist.
And if you own a Lamborghini, you have a trust fund.
Yeah.
If you own a Porsche, you probably worked for your money. If you own a Lamborghini, you probably didn't.
It's kind of like the same thing, like everyone who owns a Toyota Corolla has a dent in their car.
That's true.
Look at any Corolla on the
100%.
road right now. If you're at a red light, they've got a dent somewhere on their car.
If you find a Toyota Corolla without a dent in it, you're on the lot. That's it.
Yeah.
They dent it on your way out.
There are no gently used Corollas, okay?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I love a good turn of phrase, an idiom, so to speak. You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, stuff like that. I saw an online sort of discussion thread where someone used the phrase, and I want to make sure I get it right here. The early papa gets the roach.
Oh, I love that.
Right? Like, it's just clever.
Put that on a little mount on the kitchen there or something.
Needlepoint?
Yeah.
Put it on a throw pillow. Throw it on the couch.
Yeah.
The early papa gets the roach. And I thought, me and you love doing rock and roll puns. Mm-hmm. What if we take some classic idioms, some classic sayings, and give them a rock and roll twist?
Like, where there's a Bond, there's a Jovi?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Something like that?
No guts, no glorious sons. You know what I'm talking about?
That works pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, let me think. The longer you believe, the easier the journey.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
That feels legit.
That feels like, yeah,
Right?
that's some inspiration right there. Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Give a man an R, he'll rock you.
Oh, you know me too well.
That was just for you. That's for nobody else.
Oh, if you don't get that, we can't be friends. Trying to think of a Blink-182 one. The more I blink, the less I miss you.
That's really good. If you don't like me at my tweeter, you don't deserve me at my monkey man.
Where there's a beach, there'll always be some boys.
You know what they say? Boys in the bright white sports car will be boys in the bright white sports car.
You know what my dad always said? Wherever there's a foo, there's going to be a fighter.
I'm more of a romantic, love makes the world go for a soda.
The pearl always sweetens the jam, in my opinion. That's how that goes.
Wow, there is more than one way to chili a pepper.
This one, I don't know if really is an idiom, more of just a statement. Where there's fish, there is drugs.
And hacky sack, too.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I want to say thank you to everyone who gave me suggestions for my skunky dog yesterday. I got a lot of suggestions coming in through the show, people hitting me up on my social media. I put up a Facebook post yesterday, and I got tons of comments. A lot of people were saying the peroxide baking soda, the Dawn thing.
That seems to be like the internet sort of universal collective, like, we agree that this is the homemade product to use.
Yeah.
Which you tried it.
And
It did okay.
I ended up buying like some skunk shampoo from the pet store, and that's kind of masked it a little bit, but he's kind of like a hockey bag right now. Where
It's never going to be completely clean.
And apparently the smell can last up to 3 weeks. That's what the internet says.
Damn.
I know.
Well, have fun with that.
I did laugh pretty hard because on our Facebook page, there was actually like 3 different ladies who kind of suggested similar things. A lot of there was 2 different ladies who said to use a lady douche mixed with Dawn dish soap.
Oh, okay.
Alicia said strange but works amazing.
Nice, okay.
And then Angela sent a message, and I said, I guess that jelly roll guy, like his dog got sprayed by a skunk, and his wife posted a video on TikTok saying that she used Vagisil.
Vagisil.
Yeah.
To get rid of skunk smell.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, I did a Google on that, and tons of people are rubbing Vagisil on their dogs.
It's a legitimate move.
It is a legit thing, and I mean, it makes sense. It's known to relieve female itchiness, dryness, and odors.
Right,
so.
yeah. You know that comes from a place of panic, though, right? Like, nobody was sitting there with a sprayed dog and a calm demeanor and went, I wonder if I tried that. At that point, you're just like, Anything in the house, rub it on the dog.
I didn't have peroxide. Your girlfriend had to drop it off to me yesterday. If I had opened up under the counter and there was some Vagisil there, I would have lathered that stuff on him, man.
It's just one of those things where, like, somebody one time has this, like, weird brain spark to try something, and then it becomes a thing, and now you know if your dog gets sprayed, maybe you got to grab some Vagisil.
I went into a weird, like, rabbit hole of learning about the other uses for Vagisil. Like,
is this like a multi-tool kind of deal?
Yeah. Vagisil's like WD-40.
It's a 5-tool player.
Like, people put it on their armpits and stuff.
Really?
Just so they're not stinky. Yeah, there's lots of chicks that say that they do that as well. Which got me thinking, I was like, in high school, I mean, like, we were hosing ourselves down with Axe body spray.
100%.
After smoking a lefty at lunch, all we needed was a thing of Vagisil just to, like, rub around on the fellas. Like,
buddy, in a high school setting, if the fellas watch you pull out a tube of Vagisil to try and cover up the odor, you'll never hear the end of it. Effective or not, you'll never hear the end of it.
Some people use Vagisil on mosquito bites, I was seeing.
Bang.
Because the itchiness thing?
I'll try it. Honestly, mosquito bites is every viral hack or product in the store, none of it has ever worked. So if Vagisil's the key, I'll try it.
Also would be a great kind of joke to make on a buddy who's complaining while camping. Just toss him the thing.
Yeah. And he's like, what is this supposed to mean? You're like, actually, it has some really good properties that'll help with the itching.
Mm-hmm. So the next time your dog smells a little skunky, maybe you're a little itchy, maybe you're a little stinky, throw some Vagisil on you. It's one of the greatest products of all time, apparently.
I love the idea that someone, maybe even right now, is waking up, getting ready to go work at like a grocery store, a department store, or something like that.
Yeah.
And is about to have a run of customers come in today, just casually picking up Vagisil and going, why is everybody buying this today? Why is this such a popular product all of a sudden?
It's like how I exclusively buy cornstarch, but not for cooking, just for swamp ass reasons. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's today people are going to hear what you said, take your advice, and go buy a tube of Vagisil. And somebody at a counter at a cashier somewhere is going to be like, what is going on today?
Get silled up, man. Keep it up.
Get silled up.
Keep it on deck. You never know when you're going to need the sill. I can't use the first other three letters.
No, you're right. If you were going to shorten the word Vagisil, you made the right call.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I find that I'm getting fat and I can't really find anything. I like to take the white deodorant, the Right Guard, and I throw that in between my legs because sometimes chafing, that works.
You know what? I actually heard a conversation about this very recently it was a commercial talking about deodorant, and the commercial said, for your pits and anything else. And I was like, what do you mean anything else? And I had it very bluntly explained to me that you got to deodorize a lot of things if you get too big.
That's also a sweet treat if you go on a date and it happens to work out.
Yeah.
It is, but, the way I am, right? I'm always like, well, Jesus. If I knew about this stuff when I was single, they're going to go down there and then they're going to get a mouthful of deodorant.
Is that Matterhorn? A lot of people texting in about their different uses for isopropanol as well. We got the text in from John who says, I use it to clean my vaporizer. I also know some other people may use it to clean their glassware as well.
Yeah. Like vases, that sort of thing. Glassware, pitchers. Whatever glassware may be coming across your desk.
Leave it up to your imagination. You can clean your cuts or you can clean the res off,
I've also seen a few people talking about how, those like gain or bounce like deodorant sheets?
Yeah.
They're great if you're a bigger person like me or you got sweaty feet like I do, you get kind of stinky shoes.
Oh, put them in there, yeah.
You just tuck a couple in your shoes and it just sucks up all the stick. Just tape a bunch of those to the dog and then it'll be fine.
When I was in college and we didn't want to get in trouble in the dorms for the old jazz cabbage, we used to tape a bunch of those to the fan and that way it would blow like the smell around.
Man, it's crazy. Apartment 4B always smells like a warm, refreshing breeze.
Those guys are always doing laundry in there. They're not even close to the machines.
Oh, here's another. Someone said put it over your vents and then when your air kicks in, the whole house smells nice.
Ooh, that's actually nice. Yeah.
I like that one.
We got another one here at 762-555 from Sean, and he says, vinegar gets rid of the hiccups.
I would rather have the hiccups, if I'm being honest. Like, if the idea is, like, taken a shot of straight vinegar?
Yeah.
I like vinegar in its various applications, but I think I would rather have the hiccups.
I feel like that's just something like an older brother says.
Oh, yeah. Little brother's got the hiccups.
Just to mess with you.
Oh, hey, you know how to fix that, right? Why don't you take a shot of this vinegar? If that doesn't work, why don't you go back outside and eat some dirt?
It's kind of like the first time I got sushi and my sister was like, ooh, try this ice cream, and it turned out to be wasabi.
Oh, that's just evil.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Today we are going to do a draft of the best captains of all time, whether they're real or they're fake. I got the number one pick here.
Which is very, you started switching up after months and months and months of always doing rock, paper, scissors. You got me all jumbled. I haven't won in weeks.
In the draft of the greatest captains of all time, number one, you got to go Captain Morgan.
Wow.
He's been there for a lot of us. Every generation knows who he is. He's been with us through the good times and the bad times. And, a little bit of him makes everyone feel like a pirate.
I'm not going to lie. Captain Morgan was on my list, and then I bumped him.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't have him in my top 5 because I just kept thinking of other captains. But I'm not going to say it's a bad pick. I think it's going to resonate with me.
What do you go number one?
I go number 1, and this is what I thought was going to be on the line when we did rock, paper, scissors. It's as easy as this.
Avengers! Assemble.
You got to go Captain America. He's one of the
true.
greatest captains of all time. He fought the Nazis.
I hate superhero movies, so
I
I guess
know you
that's where
hate
my
it.
brain is. Yeah.
I know you hate it, but Captain America transcends.
With my number 2 pick, I am going to go with Captain Raymond Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Damn you. Damn you.
First off, rest in peace, the actor that played him, Andre Browner. I mean, he was hard, he was stern, he gave us life lessons in the driest sense of humor that was just so
Robot
fantastic.
Captain. Meet more.
Oh,
Just
and
so good.
some of those heartwarming moments, like,
I know things aren't exactly where you want to be right now, but I promise you they will improve.
Thank you, Captain.
Every time someone steps up and says who they are, the world becomes a better, more interesting place. So, thank you.
he could be hilarious and then
Yeah.
also just like bring it back down to earth.
He was all of our dad. He was everybody's dad.
Yeah.
I'm so upset that you took that one. But it does mean that this one is still on the board.
Yeah.
One of the most iconic captains of all time.
You will always remember this as the day that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow.
He's basically Captain Morgan.
You gotta have a pirate. You
He's
gotta
basically
have a pirate on
Captain
there
Morgan.
somewhere.
Let's get real. They basically copied Captain Morgan for that character.
No, they copied Keith Richards and made him a pirate. That's what they did.
Valid. With my number 3 pick, you know what? I said I wasn't going to do an athlete, but actually I'm going to go with Captain Canada himself. I'm going to go with Ryan Smith.
Wow.
No one wore the captain's letter more for Team Canada than Ryan Smith. He's won world championships, World Cup of Hockey, the Olympics as well. It's the reason he's got the name, and the true Captain Canada, Ryan Smith, I will take for my 3rd pick. There.
That's a solid pick. You're a great dude. For my 3rd pick, I'm picking with my heart. I know that you accuse me sometimes of pandering to the audience to try and win these drafts. But I am picking someone that is a popular character, but not the most popular character.
Okay.
Captain Malcolm Reynolds from the television show Firefly, the ship of which I have tattooed on my arm. It would be pretty hypocritical to do a captain draft and not take this man.
If your hand touches metal, I swear by my pretty floor bonnet, I will end you.
The only thing I know about this show is that you have a tattoo.
That's it. 100%.
That's it.
It got 1 season. It got screwed over by Fox. It became a cult favorite. It is worth, everybody should go and watch it. The ultimate space western.
I'm surprised you didn't go with a Star Trek pick.
Well, so you know, because again, I thought you were gonna steal more of mine just to prove that I had it on deck.
To boldly go where no one has gone before.
I was ready to pick Picard.
I've never watched Star Trek, so I can't even.
No, and that's fair.
Yeah.
The only argument is Picard versus Kirk.
I know
which
I
is the better
see people
captain.
on the text line getting mad at us saying, where is Captain Crunch on this list? Listen, guys, he's been shredding people's mouths for many years now. Also, he should be an admiral at this point, so
That's
it's
right.
almost embarrassing.
The fact that he's still at the captain level after decades, generation after generation of mouth chewed up kids, Yeah, it just shows that he's lazy.
There's a reason he hasn't been promoted, guys?
He doesn't have the work ethic required to advance in the naval ranks.
Running through the picks one more time. I got Captain Morgan, number 1, Captain Raymond Holt, number 2, and I got Captain Canada, Ryan Smith, number 3.
Mine is a much nerdier list that starts with Captain America, goes to Captain Jack Sparrow, and finishes with Captain Malcolm Reynolds of Serenity.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
We had a very tight draft this morning. It has not been this tight in a long time.
Oh, it's crazy.
I'm not even going to brag, but...
Victory! Wait, first of all, I thought we were tied at last count.
I just switched over, and I saw 2 more coming for you, boy.
Second of all, you can't say I'm not going to brag and then play the victory battle cry.
I'm not bragging. That's just letting people know that I won.
That's so brutal.
If you missed it, we did a bad draft of the best captains of all time in honor of Austin Matthews becoming the Leafs captain. We had fictional captains. We had real captains. Run through your picks.
I had Captain America and Captain Jack Sparrow, and then the third was a from the heart pick, Captain Malcolm Reynolds from the show Firefly.
I went Captain Morgan, the great Captain Morgan, at number 1. I went Captain Raymond Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine at number 2. And then I went Captain Canada himself, Ryan Smith, in at number 3. And I know there's a lot of people that are upset with us saying we missed this captain, we missed that one. A lot of people are surprised at you, like I was, about not having a single Star Trek captain on there.
I was ready to take Captain Picard, but if you get Captain America and Captain Jack Sparrow, you have to take them. Mm-hmm. And then I have a Firefly tattoo. They would be weird of me to not pick Reynolds.
There was a small part of me that wanted to, but I wasn't sure if the audience could relate. Captain Underpants. Tra-la-la-la.
I saw someone texted in a GIF of Captain Underpants, so you're not the only person that was thinking that. Mm-hmm. Honestly, my oldest Alex is going to give me hell for not picking Captain Underpants.
A lot of people were saying that one of us should have picked Robin Williams from Dead Poets Society. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
I guess.
Is he technically a captain? Or?
I get where you're coming from because of the line, but I don't know. If you would have picked that, I think I kind of would have been like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think... I would have rather picked, if I'm being honest, and I had him as an alternate, I would have rather picked Captain Planet.
Oh. See, my thing is I wavered on Captain Planet, and it's like, look at our Earth now. What did he do?
Well, it's because he's not around anymore.
Yeah.
If Captain Planet could see y'all right now, he'd be ashamed of you.
Yeah, he tried to promote so much recycling. There should have been other things he should have tried to figure out.
Well, you know who let it down. That dumb kid that had heart as his power. Everybody else had cool stuff.
Yeah, he was the weak link of the group.
He was the weak link of the team, and that's why Captain Planet didn't save the day.
Wasn't it all their powers came together to make Captain Planet?
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
They need a follow-up where one of them got really into drugs, and that's the reason why.
It's really holding them back.
Yeah. They all went to college and stopped caring. Like.
Earth did some meth, and it's never been the same.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
I found a survey, and I want to get your opinion on this because it feels like a really low number, but apparently the average American needs 60 lazy days a year to feel refreshed, relaxed, and have good mental health.
60?
60 is the number. And I'm like, that feels like really low, like 60 out of 365.
Oh, I'm on the opposite. I was going to say, I feel like that feels like a lot.
Do you feel like that's more lazy days than you'd need in a year?
60 days of absolutely like nothing going on in your life?
Just relaxing, chilling, catching up on a show? I'm
not good at math, but like 60 divided by 365 has got to be what, like close to 20%, 15% of
yeah, somewhere.
of
It's
your
probably
year?
You're right. It's probably between 15 and 20%.
Doesn't that feel high if you break it down like that?
Okay, but how about this? Weekends, we get 104 Saturdays and Sundays throughout the year.
Yeah.
So this presumes that it's not even every weekend you're going to have like lazy time.
But you got to think about it, man. Like, I don't know. Most of our weekends are kind of go. And especially like if you're a parent, you got kids in like hockey or dance or whatever, like your weekends are kind of voided automatically.
Oh, that's true. You know what's interesting is it says that like for most people in this survey, their lazy day, if they're going to pick a lazy day, it's going to be either the Saturday or the Sunday. Sunday.
Yeah.
But there are also people who take weekday lazy days. That one to me doesn't make a lot of sense.
Does it say what day they use the most?
It says, well, Saturdays, Sundays use the most, and then from there, Fridays, some Thursdays. Actually, today
Tuesday
is the least lazy day in America. Tuesday is very few people choose Tuesday as their lazy day.
Huh. I mean, I guess it's just like what defines lazy to them? Is that like lounging around on the couch, just watching TV,
right?
Stuff
And
like that?
does work count? Because if you're gonna say like Thursdays are my lazy day. Well, like you worked a 9 to 5, presumably, right? Like,
I
does
could
that
say
count?
that because a lot of people, you get home from work, you kick your shoes off, and you're like, I ain't doing squat today. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
From the time I walk in the house to the time I close my eyes at night, this is my lazy time.
60 just feels like a lot to have nothing going on in life. Like,
I don't know, man. I think it's got to be at least 100. I think 100
100 lazy days.
I think my weekends. I want my weekends to be lazy weekends.
I'm going to be honest. I think you're not doing enough then. I think you have too much free time, brother. How do you have so much free time?
Well, I mean, the job that we do, we have a lot of free time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. We're like, we're always doing something, so.
I guess there is that. Like, there's the difference between recreational laziness and then, like, really committing to I'm going to get on the couch and I'm not going to move unless I have to go to the bathroom or feed myself.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm being lazy, then it's a complete write-off. And I would say most of my lazy days come with hangovers as well, so.
Well, that's the other thing, right? If you have a lazy day, it probably means you were getting after it somehow the day before.
Like, my definition of a lazy day is absolutely no stress, nothing I have to worry about. I'm not even showering.
Right.
I've been in the same boxers all day long,
See, I think you can still have a lazy day and do some things. Like, I think you can have a lazy day and maybe go to the park, go sit out in a picnic or something like that.
I feel like you probably get 3 lazy days a month.
3 lazy days a month, eh?
I don't know. I'm just going based off of like kind of how I was raised. Like my old man and like my parents' mentality was like, if you're sitting still, you're doing nothing.
Yeah. So you're thinking 36. If you're doing 3 a month, 36 lazy days in a year?
I'm saying, you at least get, in the run of a year, I'm saying you at least get, 30 days, 36, I guess, if that goes with my math there.
Damn. No, I'm going to say, if they're saying average is 60, maybe I'm on the high side, but give me 80 to 100 days.
60 that's 2 months of doing nothing.
Hey, does a sick day count as a lazy day?
Technically?
If I wake up sick and I'm just like, I'm going to put on Price is Right and not go anywhere.
Depends on if you're lying to your boss or not.
That's
just 2 months of doing nothing is insane.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
We got friend of the show, Bobby, on the phone. How's it going, bud?
Oh, I'm driving to work, so it's the lazy part of my day.
This is it.
But there has to be some sort of, checklist. Like, I do drywall, you guys work in radio. I feel like I'm entitled to more lazy days than you guys. Right? I got kids. Brock does it. Dolby does.
So
Dolby's entitled
is
to
there
more
a
lazy
privilege
days than
of
Brock.
lazy days? Is that what we're saying?
If I got kids, I got 2 kids, so I get a few extra lazy days, even though I got a lazy job, right?
Hell yeah, you get more. Well, not just a few. You get way more lazy days than him.
Kids have been gone all summer. That's at least 10 lazy days removed.
I've been banking them.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, this year's an exception, buddy. Brock, you don't get any lazy days, dude. You're young. You go to the gym. You shouldn't be allowed to sit around at all.
Hey, listen here. It's 2024. Who are you to tell me what I can do and cannot do with my lazy days?
That's an excellent point. My favorite go-to statement is, "Don't tell me what to do."
I love to live by that motto as well.
We have some people here that are saying, like, I own a small farm. I'm lucky if I get a lazy day a month. That came from Renee. A lot of people saying, like, 1 day a month to really just, like, flatline and then go from there.
That's what I'm just saying. I just don't know how you really have time to be lazy, actually. And then I guess the better question is, like, what is the best lazy day? Because a lot of people agree with me when I said the hangover thing.
Yeah. If you went too hard the night before, you need to sort of recharge.
You know what's the best lazy day? When the weekend comes and you're kind of like dreading doing something.
Yeah.
and plans cancel.
Oh, and it becomes a lazy.
And you're like, we got nothing going on today?
Unscheduled lazy
We
day.
don't have to drive to your parents today?
Yeah.
Oh, man. On Sunday when there's football on, too?
That's a big thing. People are talking about, like, what's the perfect lazy day? Mm-hmm. I will say more so NFL than any other sport because you can really, on a Sunday, watch the whole day.
Yeah.
But if I can get out of bed, get some food in me, and then just make a dent in my couch watching sports all day, that's maybe the best lazy day I could have.
Another one of my favorite lazy days is when you go on vacation and you have that one day where you actually don't do anything and you kind of just hang out in the hotel room.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
You've packed, usually they come about, that's another one that's usually an unscheduled one, but you packed so much stuff into your other days that you wake up on that one day and you're like, I just don't have it in me. I just want to do nothing.
I am sunburnt. I'm fat.
Right.
I'm hungover.
Yeah.
I just want to watch Planet of the Apes in Spanish with the subtitles on right now.
When I got married and we went on our honeymoon, we went to Disney World and we went so hard the first 3 days. We woke up on day 4 like sore and tired. Mm-hmm. And we just went and sat by a Disney pool for the entire day. And it was like, this was maybe the best day of the vacation.
There always comes a time when you like resort and you get burnt out and you look at the food and everything and you're just like, ugh.
You know what I will say about perfect lazy days is the modern cell phone has made them better because now I can have all of the entertainment I could possibly ask for in my hand. I don't even have to crane my neck to the TV anymore.
Yeah.
I can lay in bed from the minute I open my eyes. I can reach over and take my phone off the nightstand, and I can entertain myself until bedtime if I wanted to.
But then again, is that really different than any other day of the week? I feel like that's all of us with our phones.
Well, no, most days I get up and put on pants. These are the real lazy days where I don't do that.
The toughest movement is sliding your thumb from Facebook to Instagram back and forth again.
Oh, you can get little clickers now that'll like scroll your Instagram reels for you so you don't even have to swipe.
God damn, I hate your generation.
Your generation invented it, brother.
Don't pigeonhole me.
Sorry, my bad.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's time for my favorite part of the day.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. Yeah, today's word. Pontificate. Yep, pontificate. 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 And it's to express an opinion pompously. Yeah. So kind of like one of them people that try to sound like they know it all. Oh, well, what do you do? Anyways, have a great one. Cheers, you're up.
Pontificate.
Every office has a great pontificator, and it's usually the boss, if we're being completely honest. You know, stands at the front of the room just speaking like he knows everything about everything, and you're like, shut up.
Could you say if someone's preaching, they're pontificating?
Depending on what they're preaching about. Yeah. Like if they're just, to use the classic term, they're just spreading the good word, not really pontificating. But if they're like preaching about how great they are or how they know things,
sure.
Definitely a pontificator.
I was going to say, because you know how sometimes when someone's going on about something, they'll be like, preach, brother. I was wondering if you could like trade it for pontificate, brother. Like, maybe use it in that kind of term.
My man was pontificating last night.
I do think it is fitting that pontificate is kind of like when you've got a strong opinion or something like that, or maybe your opinion's too much. It is fitting considering defecate is to turd, and pontificate is maybe to overstep your opinionness.
Yeah. It's like yoga mats and Subway bread. There's a connection there somewhere.
Sometimes you talk to someone and they just pontificate out of their mouth, like, and you're like, right, please stop.
Can you just hold the pontification until you're alone? Nobody here.
Get
nobody
some
came here for this.
Pepto-Bismol. Control that pontification, man. Pontificate. Use it wherever you can today, all right?
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store, with all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.